Hey guys, welcome back to Catapult. I am Mitali, one of the legal faculties at Catapult, and today we are discussing how wise it is to take a drop year for the CLAT exam. Now, a lot of students who cannot clear CLAT exam in their first attempt right after their 12th standard say things like, it does not really matter whether you go into a law school or not. How many judges are only from NLU? So many judges come from a lot of different colleges. So many lawyers come from a variety of colleges. So it doesn't really matter. Now, these are the things that people who cannot clear CLAT in their first attempt make excuses. Now, how correct are these excuses? Now, I will tell you three factors that you need to consider before considering taking a drop year for CLAT. Number one is, how likely are you to make CLAT your first priority? Because a lot of students in their class 12 cannot clear CLAT, and one of the major reasons for their failure is that they cannot balance their 12th standard exams and also CLAT exam. So how willing are you to devote your whole time and make CLAT your number one priority in your drop year? The second factor is, how willing are you to work hard through your drop year? Work through the grind. Because a lot of students just feel like they're too exhausted, they're too drained, they cannot shut themselves in a single room and work hard for a whole year again. Now, the third factor is how keen or how supportive your parents are. I understand a lot of times you have to defy your own parents and take a decision that's good for you. However, having a parental support and having people who finance your career and your studies be on your side is quite important. So consider asking them how willing are they to support you through this journey, because a lot of times some parents believe that I can pay a higher fee, get you into a private law school and get done with this. You don't need to waste your 1 year. So now this is a discussion that you need to do with your parents or your guardians and see how supportive or how much can you function without their support. And the fourth concern is, should you take a partial drop or a complete drop? Now, what is a partial drop even? This is when you sign up for a law school or some law school that you're already getting, but at the same time prepare for CLAT while compromising your studies and your attendance in law school, being there solely as a backup option and still preparing for CLAT for your next year. Now, this might not always be viable because that might again take your time, attention, and energy like your 12th standard exam did. And not a lot of law schools or colleges are super chill or super comfortable with respect to attendance exemptions and other things. So, this is again a factor that you need to consider. Now, I'll go through a list of pros and cons that are supremely important for you to consider whether taking a drop is a wise decision or not. First is, you will definitely have a lot more time to prepare. Unlike last year, where you were caught up with 12th standard studies and a lot of pressure of board exams, this year you will have more time to be a better fighter, a better player, better hard worker, and a very diligent student, provided you are willing to learn and willing to compromise on your distractions. Secondly, your basics are already clear. So taking this drop year would allow you to extensively work on your weak areas, giving you an edge over all other freshers who have a hard time balancing again all of these things. So focusing on your weak areas would likely make you near perfect in all other sections and give you an edge over every other student, provided again that you're willing to go that extra mile and willing to work hard and not waste your time knowing that you already know the basics, so there's no point studying. And the third pro is that 1 year here or there wouldn't make much of a difference in your life, which is pretty long. Now, this is a quite controversial point because a lot of students will come at me saying that this is not right, a year is very important, but they often don't realize that compromising on a single year can give you a better 5 year, a better life ahead as a whole, because getting into a good law school or a good college can literally set your career up. But this is something that I'll come back to later. Now, coming to the cons of taking a drop. You will have to study again for a whole year for an exam like CLAT, which is very unpredictable and very uncertain. You'll have to go through the whole grind. You'll have to compromise on your plans, on your vacations, on your fun, and study diligently for an exam like CLAT. However, it might again turn out to be pretty uncertain. You might not be able to make it in time, you might fall sick right before exam, or you might lose out because of mental pressure. Now, this uncertainty is going to be there whether you give it for the first time or not. However, the pressure in your drop year builds up to be way higher than any other year. Now, second con is that it brings a lot of anxiety, especially 2-3 months before the exam, because of an added pressure of society, of satisfying your parents and their wishes, of proving yourself to the world. And this anxiety can literally make or break your preparation and your performance in the exam. So this is something again that you need to consider before choosing to take a drop year. Again, the third con is related to these first two cons, that you'll have to take the added mental baggage of the previous 1 or 2 years of preparation to your drop year, and this added mental baggage can impact a lot of your preparation by bringing in overthinking thoughts like, what if I'm not good enough, what if I'm never meant to perform, what if I will not do well again this year. So these are the thoughts that you need to tackle and make yourself understand if you're going to go ahead with the drop year for sure. Now, coming to my thoughts on this, I've been to NEJS and I've also have had friends in other law schools. More than 50% of my batchmates in my current batch, and also in a lot of other law schools I've seen, almost 50% of the batch comprises of drop students. Now, these are the students who went ahead, took the risk of writing CLAT again and made it to law schools. And also because they got an edge over freshers. A lot of droppers who are very sincerely working hard, have a lot of edge on freshers because they have added extra time. They don't have to tackle with boards and also have the time to compose, calm themselves and prepare and perform better. Now understand this, if you end up going to any other law school or a very basic college and get a degree, you'll just graduate and nothing really bad will happen. But you need to understand that the brand of your college sticks with you for life. When I introduce myself and I say that I'm from NEJS, which is one of the top 5 law schools in the country, it brings with it a lot of prestige. And anybody I introduce myself to judges me to be a serious and hard worker and relies on me to be more disciplined than other candidates in the pool who might not be from such good colleges. And this gives you an edge in any job that you apply to, especially in law firm jobs, which are quite biased towards law students who come from good colleges. Further, in any given law school, you come across students who are those from all parts of India and other nearby countries who have done really well in their own fields and who are really smart. Because if you have to clear CLAT, you have to have a certain level of smartness, talent, hard work, diligence, determination, and all those persistence things. Now, when you come in such a field, you get a lot of exposure. You make yourself a better person because the people around you are so good that it's unlikely that you would not become a better version of yourself. 5 years of living in a hostel in a top NLU makes you a completely confident, competitive, hardworking, and eventually successful person. That would not happen if you go to any other random average college. And also in a lot of NLUs, there is a system. That is, if you're doing decently well, that is, if you're not actively messing up your career, you're likely to get a secure job when you enter your 4th and your 5th year. This is a pretty straightforward system that unless economic conditions are very unpredictable or unreliable, you're likely to get a job and get placements. And now coming back to the point that I had mentioned, that 1 year here or there would not make much of a difference. This is because if you compromise on 1 year of life right now and end up going to a top NLU, your career will be set for the next 40 or 50 years or so unless you choose to change your career, which is completely on you. You will have a pretty straightforward life ahead of you, which is pretty stable, gives you economic security, which a lot of students and a lot of Indian families really need at this time. Now, a lot of students also consider things like preparing for judiciary, preparing for UPSC, but those are questions that you should not consider right now. A lot of students come to law schools thinking that they'll clear these exams, they'll crack these exams once they get done with their studies. But this is not a concern for now because a lot changes in 5 or 3 years, and once you go through these years is when you realize what you actually want to do. And a lot of people end up not signing up for judiciary or UPSC because their goals have completely changed now. So, my advice to all the students right now would be consider the factors that I've already mentioned in the beginning of this video and try and get into a top NLU, and consider all other questions about your future careers later when you're done with your college degree. Hope this was helpful and helps you decide whether you want to take up a drop or not. See you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.